Trying to figure out how to get a bunch of little children to create beauty with you on your song.
And they did.
And they did. And I want to let people know that in 1928, Mom, you were here in 1928. 2008, you won a Posse Music Award for that song, didn't you? Yeah. Best song in the most uniting category. I think that's awesome. It's really awesome. See, this is the thing, when we put our creativity to work, as Fribo does, and creates positive music, it touches everybody. It makes a difference in the world. And that's really what we're going to talk about today, this idea of bringing our creativity into play in our walk in the world. Saying yes to spirit, not holding back, not staying in a tiny little box, but saying yes to spirit so that we can blossom forth in our experience, no matter what it looks like. No matter if it looks like everybody's speaking the same language and singing the same note or what. Finding a way to be creative within the experience and then let that blossom forth. Saying yes so that we have a sense of well-being within our experience, so that we can approach it with a sense of ease and lightness, which I know is what you did in that case because it came through so well in your lyrics and in the music. So sometimes it isn't so much the what we're doing, the what that we're doing or what we're creating, it's how we're creating it. And when we're open, and we are open to the new, to the shifts, to the changes in the experience, we're open to the change in the way it has to show up, really, how we do it is always more important than what we do. The how it shows up is always more important. So we have to pay attention to the quality of our doing within the experience. And when we pay attention to the quality of our doing within the experience, it shifts everything. And this is where, in the Bodhisattva work that we're doing, this is where we open to this joyous effort to be able to embrace the experience and open to the creative impulse within that. See something new. See a new way to be with it. Find a way to open the box bigger so that spirit can come in, help inform us, and then we can create within that. And when we do that, then, I love this, awakened doing, which is Eckhart Tolle's language for this idea of the how we do it being more important than the what we're doing. This is where we tap into the field of all possibilities. This is where we tap into our infinite creativity. This is where we open ourselves to divine guidance and to the energy of the universe to work through us in our experience. And I like what our authors tell us. We're working with a number of different books this month. And our authors tell us that the truth is the ultimate act of creativity is birthing who you really are. Birthing yourself. Birthing your highest self. Allowing yourself to blossom forth. Not that sort of shadow of a self that sometimes shows up, but your true, authentic self. Birthing that is the ultimate act of creativity. Because we are pure potential. Deepak Chopra has a lot of material on this idea that we are that eternal possibility, and when we tap into our creative source, or the source that's available in the universe, then when we show up, we are able to open to the possibilities. A lot of times it's kind of blocked, yes? It invites us to be in relationship with the energy of the universe so that we open to the creativity. Don't shut it out. Don't block it out. Because this energy, you know, the energy of the universe is creative, yes? That's what it's all about. And when we open to allow that to flow through us, then whatever we create serves the holy whole. Serves the holy whole. Just like the music that Fribo created to heal some of that wounding of the era of Vietnam. It heals the holy whole. It's awesome. And guess what? It takes a lot of courage to open the box up. It takes a lot of courage to try something new. It takes a lot of courage to be creative within the complexities of our life experience, the joys and the struggles. It takes a lot of courage to be willing to open ourselves up to whatever is the next indicated step. so that we can blossom forth. And like our author's terminology, requires holy curiosity. Holy curiosity to see, I wonder if, what if we try this? Let's go in this direction. This idea that if we can step into this curiosity about the life experience, we're going to tap into that creative life energy, that energy that may move us in a new direction. Get quiet enough to listen to the voice of the divine. Get quiet enough to listen to, some new ideas, and then put it into action like those monkeys. Weren't they cute? This idea of trusting, this idea of getting quiet enough to figure it out, watching. Remember how the monkey was behind the guy doing the experiment, and he was watching. He figured out where those grapes were coming from. That's what it's about, getting still enough to open to new information. And then combine that with engaged activity, with actually writing the song, with actually creating a piece of art, with actually creating the pasta dish with the new ingredients that just happen to be available that day. That's what it's about. Creating from what you've got and from what's available. Finding something new to bring together to make life wonderful. That's what it's all about. But you know what? This is the deal. We're not always willing to find a way. We're not always willing to look beyond the little box of the circumstance, you know what I mean? But when we can combine this openness and this willingness to listen for guidance and to listen for the new ideas and the new thoughts to come in to inform our experience, and then combine that with activity, dynamic activity in the world, guess what happens? We become independent of whatever else is going on in our life experience, the stuff that's holding us back, the bank account that's shrinking, the job that's dissolving, the relationship that's going away, the health that isn't what it used to be. Whatever it looks like, those things no longer get in the way because we open to the creative impulse to find a way through them. It's hard to fix stuff, yes? Some things you just can't fix. But we can find a creative way through these things by being open and receptive. So what gets in the way? What are the obstacles? Our authors tell us that we have too narrow of an understanding of the creative process itself. We forget that every breath is a creative impulse. We forget that every time we meet somebody, it's an opportunity to open to a possibility. Within every experience, there are these potentials that we may be missing. We forget because we have a very narrow viewpoint. We've got a spotlight usually on the problem. We've got a spotlight instead of a floodlight that is open to the pure possibility of the experience. The next piece that gets in the way is we don't trust. We don't trust that if we put the rock in the hole, our friend is going to be able to open the box and get the nuts out and then share with us. We don't trust that the universe is going to support our journey. We don't trust that we have the inner resources to move through whatever is going on in our life experience. We don't trust that we can actually find the words and the lyrics and the music and the way through so that we can become an award-winning songwriter. And sometimes, of course, we do. But when we're blocked, that's what's going on. We're not trusting that Spirit will support it, that it's going to get us through. We're afraid of failure, yes. We're afraid to even give it a shot because we think, oh, that won't work. That's not going to work. People are going to reject me. The idea might cause me to move in a direction that makes me uncomfortable. I might have to give up something that I'm attached to. I might not be able to continue my life journey in exactly the same way. I might not be as comfortable as I am right now. Might not be too convenient. So all of a sudden, we pull back and we don't open to the creative impulse of whatever the energy of the universe is going to bring to us. Too busy, too much responsibility, don't have enough money for that. We block ourselves in all these ways by having, sort of a judgment about how it's going to look, or how it needs to look. Too hard, just too darn hard. We get very rigid. We get stuck in a box. And when we're in a rigid, tiny box, it's very hard for our creativity to blossom forth. It's very hard to say yes to Spirit. Bring it on, Spirit, whatever. And what I know about that is that it's not always comfortable. It isn't always comfortable. And when we have the capacity to move ourselves in the direction of opening to Spirit, sometimes really weird things show up. So I want to bring you to this image. Those of you who know me well might guess what this is about. My mother probably does. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe, had so many children, didn't know what to do. Well, this weekend, I mentioned before on the platform that we remodeled our house for the second time, and we now, this weekend was the day, we have the whole family living in the house now. The kids moved in yesterday. Not only 2 adults and a 6-year-old, but they brought their 4 dogs, their 2 huge tortoises that are this big, their aquarium full of fire-belly frogs, a rat, yes, I don't like it, and an aquarium with fish in it. Oh yeah, and 3 cats. So now, what I want to say about this is, I know I'm not the only family on the planet today that's struggling in this economic circumstance. Yes? Yes. And sometimes we got to make some choices that are sort of weird, that somebody might criticize, that somebody, might challenge. Sometimes we make these choices, we come up with creative solutions, and we say, you know what? That guest bathroom, we could put a shower in there. You know what? That thing that used to be a wet bar, and now that I've got 25 years of sobriety and don't need a wet bar, that wet bar could become a kitchen. That dining room could become a studio apartment. This other part of the house, you know what? We could put some doors there, and we open to the creative impulse of the universe, and all of a sudden, we are moving in a whole new direction. Do you see what I'm saying? And if I thought, now, Dennis is not, my husband's not here this morning, he's struggling. I have to just be honest, he's struggling with this because his whole world has been rocked. He's now wearing earphones to watch TV because my desk where I do all my preparation is in the same room now. And so he's wearing his little earphones to watch the fights and his kind of TV because it's not compatible with my energy. So everything is shifted, but it's working. And when it's all settled down, it will be better for everybody all the way around, including him, because it helps us with some financial stress. We're renting out the other properties where everybody used to live so that we can make ends meet. You got to be humble sometimes, yes? You got to humble yourselves. You have to be able to respect everybody in the experience so that when we make these difficult decisions, it works. Something new is birthing itself. And there will be a whole new energy and a whole new creative outcome from this weird dynamic of all these dogs. And I got 5 bark collars so that they don't buzz them anymore. They don't hurt them. They spritz them with citronella, and so they're not barking, and it's all good. Yeah. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? They're going to learn, and then they won't have to smell citronella anymore. But it's this idea of being willing to stretch out of the box. Be creative. How do we work with this? So, David, go to the next image. Glenda and I are embarking on a new job. You know, Common Ground's been around for 7 years, and we thrive. Thanks to your giving, we thrive. We pay our bills. We pay our huge rent. Our rent is huge. It's our #1 expense. We are working to create community, and we've never taken salary at Common Ground in 7 years. Most of you know that. We don't take a salary. Well, the economic circumstance being what it is, we're out of money, she and I. So we've got to figure out, how do we continue to allow Common Ground to thrive, to prosper, to grow, and how do we support ourselves in this odd situation? How do we get along? So we're going to become bail bonds agents. This is going to be one of our clients. We're training to be bail bonds agents so that we can work on hours when it's not part of Common Ground's responsibility, on Sundays, on Saturdays, when we're teaching, when we're doing weddings and things like that. We won't be on call. We will be on call 24 hours a day. Is this going to be a little inconvenient? Probably. Is it going to be a little uncomfortable at 2 in the morning to jump out of bed at age 65 and try to get composed enough to drive to East LA? Probably. Is it a creative idea? Can we create an income? Are there a lot of people that would say, that doesn't look like a fit? That doesn't really look too much like a fit. And I tell you what, we're going to bring creativity to this job so that when we're sitting with families trying to bail out these people that have been unskillful, and we're trying to wait for the release of their person, we're going to be doing ministry. We're going to be comforting. We're going to be helping them see the creative possibilities in their experiences. We may even take along a Scrabble game and some brie. I don't know. But it's going to be unique, it's going to be creative, and it's going to be a source of joyful effort. That's what I'm talking about. We've got to be willing to stretch, to expand beyond our limited thinking, and do it with a great sense of joy. We're excited about this new idea. We're really looking forward to it. I'll let you know how it goes about the third time I get up in the middle of the night, but, you know, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Here's your invitation. This is the deal. You've got to get quiet enough. When Glenda and I were first talking about this, she brought this to me as an idea, and she's going, I don't know. I said, why can't we do it? Why won't it work? Get quiet enough to compose yourself so that you can listen for guidance to open to creativity. Open yourself up. Take time to watch how everything flows together. Observe how things fall in line and synchronicities happen. And this didn't come to us 3 years ago. It came to us now. This is the time. This is the time. Right about the time we're out of money, it's coming to us. Yeah? Yeah? Stop trying to judge it. Stop trying to analyze it. Make it logical. There's no logic here. Stop trying to, fit it into a little box. It doesn't fit. And when you judge everything and analyze it and find every reason why it wouldn't be a good idea, it stops the flow of creativity. It stops the creative flow. Here's your invitation. Remember, your ultimate act of creativity is birthing who you really are. Your highest, most refined, most beautiful, most magnificent, most elegant self. That's your highest act of creativity. All the rest of the things that you may create in your life, those are the goodies. You are the prize. You are the magnificent one. Remember, everything about you is a possibility. You're filled with possibility and potential. You can do anything you set your mind to. Don't grow stale. I love Deepak Chopra's invitation. Don't grow stale. Don't grow flabby. Don't grow weak by not being willing to open to the creative impulse. Don't dry up in your experience and just let wither away. Get out there. Be engaged with it. Make it meaningful. Learn to listen for the creative thoughts. Look for the synchronicities. Look at what's going on around you. Open, expand your understanding of what the possibilities may be. Trust the universe to support you. Trust the process. Step into anything that seems like it may be part of your journey. Whatever the challenge is, step into it. You can always make another choice. You can always say it looked like a good idea at the time and regroup. Take the challenge. Allow your creativity to serve the very highest holy purpose of your life experience. And when you do that, you serve the holy whole, like the song that Prepo sang. Just say yes to Spirit, and who knows what might happen next.
much.